As Matthew Bentley of Gamasutra writes, atmosphere is the feeling that remains when the rest of the game shuts up. A lot of atmosphere comes from being left to the imagination. As such, it can be difficult to describe and be different for each person, like a Rorschach test. But in all cases, the imagination must be fed, not too much and not too little to be most effective. Now, I'm going through the atmospheres that affected me the most, so as such, this is going to be another subjective list. I'm also specifically looking at scary atmospheres, so games like Journey, while having fantastic atmospheres, don't really fit the theme of the list.
After all, my dear peons, it is Halloween.
Making a good, scary atmosphere requires special attention to detail to things like lighting and sound design. Like in Amnesia: The Dark Descent. In this game, you are Daniel, and you are trapped in Spooky's house of eldritch horrors and meaty walls. Happy fun times await! Amnesia's bread and butter is the sanity system, which it totally ripped off of Eternal Darkness. The lower your sanity, the more sound and visual effects that will come around to mess with you. Not only will you hear the pleasant sounds of your teeth chattering and hyperventilating, but you'll also experience the wonders of distorted and blurry camera angles, bugs walking across your screen, or in some cases, doors will just blow open or slam shut in front of you. Rude. You can increase your sanity by solving puzzles and generally progressing through the game, but your sanity decreases in a lot more ways, especially when you stay in darkness, which is pretty hard seeing as most of the game is you in the dark. Oh, but you can use a lantern? Yeah, but that doesn't last you forever, and that makes it easier for monsters to find you. Oh, but you can just hide in darkness.
It really is a case of pick your poison.
Limbo, the game that expects you to die. Already a great start. Beyond this game's premise of difficult trial and error gameplay, the most notable thing about the game is its art design. Bleak, monochrome shadows that contribute to the oppressive atmosphere and the challenges presented. And what challenges does this game have about a small child trying to find his companion? Bear traps, mind control slugs, a giant spider, electrocution, saw blades, machine guns, and murder-hungry tribe.
What happened to the game's creators and their youths?
Everything in Limbo has been tailored carefully. Limbo's soundtrack is ambient and haunting, showcasing how empty this world seems to be. The heavy blackness and shadows emphasize how this world is so dark, dangerous, and fearful, yet the whites that shine through occasionally show you there's hope. It's small, but it's there. Notice how no creatures or people have white on them, but you do, and the whites of your eyes go dark when you die. Is he just someone who is not dead yet, and he is actually in limbo? Or are he and his sister both dead? Seeing as the title screen and the ending are both the same, would that mean they are both stuck in limbo? Wait, nope. Josh, you're not game theory. Stop it. There's a reason BIOSHOCK constantly makes these kinds of lists. Its atmosphere is just that dang good. This is first seen from the carefully crafted intro, easing your descent into the majestic rapture. Seeing such hubris on grand display at the beginning puts the disrepair to come in so much perspective. Really? You built it underwater because you couldn't build it anywhere else?
I'm sure Antarctica would have been less stupid.
Anyways, Rapture's atmospheric design is that of utopia becoming dystopia. Other games dabble in this idea, sure, but with Rapture, it is literally drowning in it. It threw away the bright shackles and hollow platitudes of the surface and embraced the dark, yet comfy anarchic ideals of Andrew Ryan. As you continue your journey to survive, you still see and even feel the remnants of a time of earlier glory. There is so much you see that feels like this was once human, but slowly fell prey to excess and animalistic abandon. Dr. Steinman in his pursuit of beauty, Dr. Suchong in his pursuit of knowledge, Sander Cohen in his pursuit of art. It's the strangest form of the uncanny valley, seeing something so clearly human fall so far from the proverbial tree. Just goes to show that liking good things and aspiring to do them doesn't always make you good. While not strictly a horror game, Metroid Fusion takes a lot of cues from time-tested classics. And let's be honest, it's scarier than plenty of scary games out there. What contributes most to the effectiveness of the game is the main enemies you face, the X. These are creatures of infinite possibility. They can infect and kill any creature they find, mimic their biology and intelligence, and even mutate themselves to better adapt or try to kill you. That, or they can just change it to gross abominations.
That was necessary. The melting thing was necessary.
In a lot of ways, Metroid Fusion is the anti-Super Metroid. In that game, you start off weak, but slowly get empowered to do all kinds of cool things. The very nature of the X in Fusion means you don't have that advantage anymore. They get stronger along with you. And on top of that, there's a clone of Samus that's hunting you at max power.
It's like we're facing the Thing if it took hunting tactics from Alien. I like it.
To say you're the underdog in Fusion would be an understatement. Even the music is a lot more ambient than usual, as if to say, you want more catchy jams? Nah, here, have some footsteps. I've never liked it when games say, your choices matter, but then force you to pick between two equally terrible choices when there is clearly a sensible third option, or forcing me to make a dumb decision because thou must. Drama! That being said, with those kinds of games, I still persevere in the hopes that one of them eventually does follow through with this promise, which is why I found Until Dawn's atmosphere plenty unnerving. The game very early on showed us the potential consequences of our decisions, so that sneaking suspicion that anything you do could potentially kill the rest of the teens off was always there. You get so paranoid that you think dropping a lighter would set the whole house ablaze, or you might have killed someone for missing a high five. And the fact that the game tailors itself to your personal fears depending on your choices definitely plunges you deeper. This game is so confident in its atmosphere that it actually encourages you to use the PlayStation camera so it can take quick clips of your reactions. But if you're like me and you played in a dark room to better get into it, the replays likely looked like... yeah, they probably didn't think that one through. Oh, whatever. I'd love to see a sequel for this game soon. I hope it's werewolves next time. Eternal Darkness is Amnesia, but stronger. Okay, memes aside, you know how Nintendo games often have unexpectedly, perhaps even unintentionally creepy moments? Eternal Darkness is the result of Nintendo actively trying to deeply scar the player. Going back to what was said at the beginning, atmosphere really comes down to the mind's interpretations. Like this room here, I interpret that floor faces should not be moving like that! Seriously though, considering the importance of perception with regards to atmosphere, it's appropriate that games like this and Amnesia get their atmospheres so right because of how they involve the player characters losing their sanity. When you encounter zombies in this game's heavily shadowed corridors, your sanity meter slowly drops. Suddenly, a normally silent room might be filled with the sound of crying or evil chanting, bugs crawling on your screen, standard stuff. But Eternal Darkness takes the sanity meter concept further by intermingling it with the gameplay. If your sanity is near rock bottom, watch out. Sometimes casting spells will cause you to explode on the spot. You might start glitching through the floor, or my personal favorite, pausing the game, trying to save, only to have the menu say, "It's deleting your data?"
Huh?
The worst part is, you can't predict any of this. It'll just happen and catch you off guard when you least expect. I mean, it's hard to feel at ease when you don't even feel safe at the game's pause menu. Eternal darkness is mean. After the giant suckage known as Aliens, Colonial Marines, things looked bleak for fans of Ridley Scott's chest-bursting baby. It appeared we would never get... Alien Isolation is a game that more than adequately lives up to its name. You're isolated, in space, with an alien. All you have is some junk that only might help you survive, and 2 tools of locating the alien that actually help it find you easier. I swear, the designers of this game were total trolls. While the lighting didn't quite emphasize the alien's fright factor as much as it could have, it more than makes up for it in sound design. It really captures the weight of this hulking creature that's stalking you. It honestly sounds like a big suit of armor is skulking around, trying to find your hiding spot. Oh yes, the scariest moments of this game are when you're hiding. Hearing Ripley try to silence her rapid breaths and beating heart, and listening to the music slowly build its dissonant chords to an intense peak, and praying to whatever deity is out there that the alien will not move towards this particular locker, and trying not to freak the f*** out! It works. It just works. In space, no one can hear you scream, but it is noisy. Wow, lots of references to Alien this time around. Dead Space's atmosphere evokes the constant sensation that nowhere is safe. Since the monsters can appear through air vents, which just so happen to be in every room, that feeling ain't ever going away. And each time you think you're beginning to feel safe, or like you're beginning to get a grip on things, something new is thrown at you. Like, say, a giant unstoppable monster able to regenerate its limbs, or monsters that turn cadavers into more monsters, or holy shit, what the f***ing tentacle heads are- wait, no, don't drag me down into that hole! It doesn't help that the game likes to f*** with you by occasionally having a sound effect like a metal bar dropping that might alert you to the presence of a monster, but it's a total red herring. This game wasn't nice. Honestly, I was so immersed in this game's atmosphere that I dreaded turning corners, and since that was the game's end goal, I'd say it did a great job. In a game about atmosphere, it would be a crime to leave Silent Hill 2 off the list, or Shadow of the Colossus, but that game isn't horror, so I don't have to talk about it for the 100th time. And no, this doesn't count. Anyways, Silent Hill's claim to fame, as it were, is its use of fog. Apart from working perfectly in a horror setting due to it obscuring light and pathways, and decreasing rendering time, it's a brilliant analogy for the game's psychological conflict. When you're insane, your mind isn't clear, and the things that come out of that fog don't represent any form of reality. The creatures of Silent Hill are a manifestation of James Sunderland's neurosis. Oh, this isn't me trying to wax intelligence. This is the game's canon explanation for what goes on. So when out of this fog you see Pyramid Head attempting the old in out with a mannequin, you have to wonder, regardless of whether or not someone would actually act on this stuff, people think of this. The game designers thought of this. Silent Hill 2, the literal physical form of our subconscious perversions. It's okay, no one's judging, just don't tell me about your thing for mannequins.
Have you ever seen a mannequin you want to? Because I have.
Ladies and gentlemen, the most heartbreaking number one choice I will ever make. PT. Despite the unfortunate cancellation of Silent Hills, PT still stands as one of the most gripping interactive horror experiences ever created, and it was only a demo! It's such a simplistic concept down to the setting and premise. You're just wandering through an ordinary house. I feel like the best way to describe why PT's atmosphere is so scary is as such. You know that feeling when you're alone at night, you hear something fall, and how you want to check that out? PT is basically that, only there's a legitimate reason to fear wandering into the darkness. As a gamer, there's always this instinct to investigate, and you'll need to, given how this story isn't directly conveyed to you. But, given this haunted, looping corridor and how the strange happenings become increasingly less benign, do you really want to? Yes. Yes, you do. There are so many little details that add up to an atmosphere that's skin-crawling in its totality, from small sounds like the creaking of a ceiling light to louder sounds like a man and baby crying. Then the details show just how significant they are. Said ceiling light might change to a hanging, bleeding refrigerator, and your seemingly typical radio suddenly tells you to look behind you. Oh, it can't be talking about me. Come to think of it, where are you? Are you dead? Insane? Dead and insane? Well, this gate can't hurt me. Let's look behind.
I am Albert Wesker. And Konami.
God